As your graphs continue to grow and evolve, the connections between the nodes can start to get out of hand. With InstaMAT, it's easy to visually control the flow of your graph with reroute points. In this Swift session, we're going to take a look at the two different types of reroute points in the canvas. So here I'm working on this stylized brick ground material, and as I continue to build out this graph, I'm noticing that these connections are starting to get a little disorganized. Those of you familiar with working in a node-based environment, such as InstaMAT's canvas, you might be familiar with how you start getting spaghetti. You start getting a lot of connections overlapping and branching off, and it's kind of difficult to control the visual flow of the graph. Well, luckily for us, InstaMAT has a bunch of different ways to organize visually the nodes in the canvas. And the two ways that I want to talk about today are the two different reroute nodes that InstaMAT has. So let's say, for example, we have this blend height node. This is where I'm getting all of my height information. And the blend height node is giving me this mask, which allows me to delineate between the top and bottom layer that I'm blending here with the height information. And so you can see I'm feeding this mask into this blend here as an opacity mask, so I can control which areas have particular colors on them based on these gradient maps. So what I can do here, you can see that this connection is actually passing through this gradient map, and if I start moving things around, it's going to be hard to understand the flow of what's going on. So what I can do is I can double click on the connection point here, and you can see we have this temporary reroute point. Now I can go ahead and just drag this and move this temporary reroute point here, and I can now visually see and clean up my graph this way. Now this is called a temporary reroute point because if I go ahead and let's say I use Command or Control and left click to branch this connection off, and let's say I connect it to something else, like for example this height to normal, you can see now that it removes that temporary reroute point. So I can go ahead and hit Command or Control Z to go back, and it's back here. Now, in addition to double clicking on a connection, you can also press the shortcut hotkey, Alt or Option, and then single left click on a connection as well to create a temporary reroute point. So now what if I want to make this more permanent? Well, what I can do, if I go ahead and double click this point, again, I can remove it. But to make a permanent reroute point, I can go ahead and right click this connection to bring up quick search, and I can type in RER for reroute. And so now you can see we have this reroute image parameter. So quick search is context sensitive because it understands the type of information incoming in the connection. So we have reroute points that are assigned to all the different data types when working in the canvas. And in this case, we're working in a grayscale image format. So I can go ahead and double click the reroute image here in quick search. And now you can see we have our permanent reroute point here. So now I can go ahead and just move this over here. And another added benefit of the permanent reroute node here is I can branch off another connection. So for example, I can branch this off to bring up quick search again, and maybe I'm going to type in grayscale and get grayscale to mask. And now I can build another mask out of this if I'd like. So now I can continue this process. You can see I have this output here from the blend height that's supplying my height information, so I can convert it into normal information and also build my ambient occlusion contact shadow information as well. And so it's all going out here to the right, but it's starting to get very disorganized. So what I'd like to do is quickly create another reroute node here. Now there's another way that we can do this. If I go ahead and double click on a connection again to make a temporary reroute point and then double click another one, what I can do is I can drag this temporary one on top of the other one to create a permanent reroute node. And I can do the same thing here. I can just double click this, drag it on top, and now things are a lot more organized. So these are just some of the ways that InstaMAT allows you to organize your canvas and all of your connections while you're working. Reroute points are a great way to stay organized while building out your graphs, and these are just some of the ways InstaMAT helps to keep you organized as you work. If you're interested in more ways to keep track of your nodes and stay in your creative flow, check out our YouTube channel. Here we have a bunch of quick videos like these called Swift sessions, as well as other videos that go more in depth into InstaMAT's nodes and features. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, drop us a comment below and don't forget to subscribe. For the latest news about InstaMAT, please visit our website and follow us on Twitter. You can find all the links in the video description below. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.